Hello, people. Men. Stand up. Pay attention. Fuck! Oh no, I didn't reset the grift fund. Fuck! Alright. Visit your dashboard. Ooh. You like the intro graphic? I think it's cute. The Streamlabs default. I don't even know how to get rid of it. I haven't bothered because it's cute. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, why has it changed the colors of the chat names now? That's so cool. Multicolored chat, that's what I wanted. I'd hated it when it was all the same color. It was so cringe. Fuck. Fuck it. Okay. Okay. We'll see if I survive the great audio breakdown. Oh no. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. LSF? Do I want to do LSF stream opener? Why not? There's a few things on it. Crazy shit lately, huh? I don't think it's just because of a lack of interest. I think there just aren't that many United States election stories going on about right now. Like the Puerto Rico thing was quite funny. And inshallah, Trump might get fucked by that. Especially since Pennsylvania, I think, has a fairly sizable Puerto Rican population. And Puerto Ricans, they seem to be very, they seem to be quite prideful about their lands, about their good name. So maybe starting to get doomer about the election. Like, it's really frustrating to think that, I don't know, I feel like people have done all they can. It's just a matter of waiting. Like how many, because Trump is so good at making his supporters unshiftable. But I can tell they're trying to damage control for the Puerto Rico comment because other Republican politicians are now being like, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. We love Puerto Rico. The fine people of Puerto Rico. This is Republicans before and after they learned that Puerto Ricans are US citizens. And if they live here, they can vote here. Let's see what we got here. Austin makes a run for it. Ooh. Wait, what? Twitch clips? Why are you doing that? Come on. You have to get the archived one, don't you? Every time.
Take a long, hard look in the mirror. The rape apology of Hasan. His insistence that it doesn't matter if rape happened on October 7th is insane. Vicious. Dude, I said that doesn't justify genocide. Are you moving away from the camera? Are you? Austin is escaping. No. Nah, he's got no motion. He sucks.
Oof. Okay. Whatever. I mean, that could mean anything, really. I get hung up on that. Right, where's the goddamn... There's another clip of this when he's talking that he must be so riled up at the fact there's a congressman. There's a congressman, an elected representative of the people.
Hasan Piker is seen laughing at a Jewish woman who thanked VP Harris for advocating for hostages who conveyed concern about...
Wait, did he leave again? This is a different clip, isn't it? Did the guy back off again? Is this the same stream? It is.
Hasan Piker is seen laughing at a Jewish woman who thanked VP Harris for advocating for hostages who conveyed concern about anti-Semitism. Simple question for Hasan Piker. What exactly do you find amusing? Are you amused by anti-Semitism? Amused by kidnapping 30 children, among them infants and toddlers? Amused by the abduction of aging Holocaust and Farhud survivors? The useful idiocy of Hasan Piker would be comical, were his amplification of anti-Semitism not so dangerous. And it's like pretty obvious what I'm amused by here. But of course, it's another 18-second clip that this dipshit posted. And it's like, yeah, dumbass, I'm abused by the fact that there's this woman who's like, I am an undecided voter, and my decision hinges on how sufficiently pro-Israel Kamala Harris is. Yeah, that's the absolute dumbest thing on the fucking planet to be undecided over. Anyway, also I called it ahead of time. So, involves Boner Chelly, by the way. Yeah.
I don't think you did. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm really surprised this black UPenn girl didn't talk about Gaza. Oh no.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that he's
But yeah, the question was about anti-Semitism, and she's Jewish. God, I can't imagine why Jewish Americans would care about anti-Semitism right now. Fuck.
Thinks that hitching his wagon.
Look, unprecedented spike in hate crimes, by the way. Massive spike in hate crimes against Jews in America since October 7th. Can't imagine why someone would ask questions about anti-Semitism, but
on like a famous internet cyber terrorist who has tanked campaigns in the past, apparently. Whoa. Is actually a good, is a solid way to go about this. But then again, he's gotten literal funding from Kahanis, so it's not that surprising. Nobody cares though. He's got no motion. Hasan should take a long, hard look in the mirror. The rape apology of Hasan, his insistence that it doesn't matter if rape happened on October 7th is insane. Dude, I said...
Isn't Richie Torres like isn't he like a regular two-state blaster? Doesn't he parrot the fucking two-state solution all the time? Why would a Kahanist want to support that?
I said that doesn't justify genocide. Are you moving away from the camera?
I have 4 more sushi.
Are you Austin is escaping. Nah, he's got no motion. He sucks. We should community note him. That doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, he gets like 100 likes per tweet usually. But when he posts about me, he gets like he gets hella motion from all the Boner Chelly orbiters.
Build Look, your political career off of complaining about Hasan. Do it. He'll be president one day.
Fucking Richie Torres. It's debate pedophiles like Boner Chelly. It's all guys like that. They got no motion. It's like it's E. Fartlow. It's John Fetterman. Like you have nothing. You have no motion. You have no movement. You've lost the people. Like you got a sex shop rabbi who's kosherizing dildos and shit. It's just like the bottom of the barrel scumbags. You got Brianna Wu. New Bernie video on Gaza and Harris. Yeah, I saw. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't decided if I want to watch it.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to watch that because it's going to be really disheartening for his entire community to watch his chat go against Bernie, call him Genocide Bernie. Didn't even work. Genocide Bernie. Even Bomber Bernie.
Watched it.
Was it good?
Nobody's gonna like it here.
He knows. Okay, no more Hasan. What else we doing? What has History Speaks done now? Bro, I don't know. For some reason, and I think I know why. I think it's because there are people in my Reddit who don't watch my videos. That's my theory. Or we've actually just attracted a really broad church and whatever. That's cute. But I don't think that's what's happened. The way people attack me in my own subreddit makes me think that I've heard this happen though. I've heard that basically every other subreddit that exists inevitably gets taken over by fucking tankies for some reason. But I'm not particularly bothered about that, but there's enough people now just asking questions about why I don't take History Speaks seriously. So I might just show like just 1 or 2 examples. The Puerto Rico joke might have more of an impact than Trump getting shot. Yeah. Not least of all because Trump got shot ages ago. No one cares anymore. It's fucking, why? It's so old. The Mehdi Hasan can substantially respond to any criticism instead of character assassinating they die. Yeah. Yeah, bro. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about Trump getting shot. It's too old news. And he barely got scuffed in the ear. Sorry. Okay. Apparently there was a clip of Ben Shapiro admitting that he hates Trump's tariffs. I never really... It's so bizarre when you have... I should have thought of this because I watched the Piers Morgan, Dave Smith, Mehdi Hasan, Stephen thing yesterday. It crossed my mind yesterday that people who call themselves libertarian or call themselves supporters of Trump because they want small government is so bizarre because tariffs are a massive government overreach, especially the size that Trump wants to implement them at. Trump wants to make the new tariffs are going to be on basically everything, almost all, if not all, imports. And it's going to be about 10 or 15 times what he did in 2016. He wants to do a lot. And well, the abortion thing, they would say it's because it's protecting human life. That's why they would say that. So, but a tariff is just taxing fucking trade. It's like, it's taxing the free market. And it is so widespread what Trump wants to do. And I feel like people just haven't really commented on that enough. And I think Shapiro mentions it. But obviously he has some copium because he needs to keep his audience. He's got to keep himself in the job. Where does he say it? The Trump tariff plan. He says it's insane, apparently.
Ben, you're a free trade guy. Trump has said that the most beautiful word in the English language is tariff. The T word, which is tariff. He's proposing a 20% tariff on all goods from other countries.
20%, bro.
Defend that. How can you possibly defend that?
So again, I'm going to chalk this one up to bullshitting, specifically because I think he chalks it up to bullshitting. Meaning that one of the things that he recently came out with in the last couple of days, which again seems to be a fresh proposal, is that we trade a tariff regime for the complete revocation of the income tax, which frankly looks a lot sexier to me than just tariffs on their own. If I have to trade higher prices for no income tax, that's at least an interesting proposal. One of the things that Trump tends to do when it comes to trade agreements is talk about how he's going to completely rip up trade agreements and he's going to tariff everything up to the sun. And he tends to use it as a weapon of leverage more than he does actually just tariff things randomly. So, for example, he said that he was going to completely tear up NAFTA and do a completely new trade deal. And it turns out that the completely new trade deal looked very much like NAFTA with some of the changes around the edges. Right? Donald Trump had suggested that he was going to heavily tariff Canadian goods that were coming in, and then he actually used it as leverage in negotiations with Justin Trudeau over other issues. So Donald Trump will stake out positions with tariffs that are sort of zero-sum positions economically, and then use those zero-sum positions as a way of cudgeling other countries into doing things that he wants them to do. So do I take seriously the idea that without any congressional legislation at all, he's going to be able to levy a 20%?
I think in 2020, didn't Trump actually impose tariffs on Canadian goods? The problem is this is such a stupid thing to say because threatening tariffs does not strengthen your hand in a negotiation with other countries. Because if you put in tariffs, first, like what happens when you do that is other countries retaliate and they put tariffs on you. That's what China did. There was a whole fucking race. There was a trade war with China that had to get fucking halted by a mutual agreement between the two groups. And now it's become really hard to reverse the impacts of those tariffs because it needs to be a negotiation that can result in America and China reversing their decisions. And for the most part, that didn't happen in the last 4 years. think Trump tried to impose, 10% tariffs on Canadian aluminium products. Sorry, aluminum. Ugh. Did he actually do it, though?
Tariff on everything coming into the country? No, I don't. And I think that President Trump, as Sam has mentioned, he likes the wheeler-dealer image. If he is a wheeler-dealer, he tends to use tariffs more as a piece of leverage to get things that he wants, in sort of the same way that he used to say about NATO, well, maybe NATO's not all that important. You guys should increase your contributions to NATO. And the predictable result was the contributions were increased to NATO. And
oh, he's so dumb. Really? Why did countries increase their contributions to NATO? Was it potentially because Trump said he shat on NATO? Really? Is that the kind of exceptionalism? Or was it maybe because of a particular event that might have threatened the standing of NATO, that implicated a lot of NATO countries in Eastern Europe? What the fuck? Anyway.
America did not actually stop supporting NATO.
Sam, do you want to weigh in on the economy? And I don't know if this is a top issue for you, but go on.
I mean, obviously, neither of us are economists, but I mean, the jury is not out on these questions. I mean, again, this is an example of Ben, and as everyone is forced to do, he's grading Trump on a curve, and in this case, you just discount what he says he will do, and imagine what he will really do.
Well, because he did it.
Well, no,
again, based on past performance,
based on what he's done in the past.
Question,
but he's told you that tariffs are his silver bullet, and that he, above all, this is the sweetest word in the English language, I think, above love, and he intends to impose them, right? And so all you can go on is the stated policies of the Harris and Trump administrations, by which to judge what's likely to happen. And the Wall Street Journal did that 2 weeks ago. And they went out, they surveyed, I don't know how many economists, and 60% thought all of the variables like, employment and inflation and interest rates, it all gets worse, GDP, all gets worse under Trump, and 12% thought that they would get worse under Harris, right? So you got 60% to 12% according to a Wall Street Journal poll of economists, right? So that's all I have to go on. I mean, generally speaking, if you look at what tariffs tend to do, they tend to be regressive in all kinds of ways that you wouldn't want them to be. So,
well, you and I don't disagree on tariff policy. I mean, I actually am quite anti-tariff unless you're talking about a tariff for purposes of protecting a security-laden industry.
See, what's the point of me covering the United States election if this is the response? If Trump doesn't have that many policies. Tariffs is really like the big thing that he's running on, and now Ben's response to it is, yeah, that's really bad, but he's just saying that, and he's not actually going to do it. Like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to? He's literally taking the only Trump policy, really, the only big Trump policy that's being offered, apart from deporting a shitload of people, apparently, and putting people into fucking detention centers, concentration camps with the 1798 thing. He's got this economic policy that goes against everything that Ben Shapiro stands for as a libertarian conservative, or whatever the fuck he is, free market. And he's just managed to spin it into, actually, Trump will just say this and achieve something that I do want out of it. What the fuck? What's the point in arguing anything? How can he just spin this atrocious Trump policy that he admits is atrocious, but spin it into something that he can just imagine will actually be good? That's not the precedent he's talking about is bullshit, by the way. He's talking about how it worked last time. No, what happened last time with Trump's tariffs is that it started a trade war with China. That didn't actually help anyone. And the prices, and people say that prices didn't go up. Prices didn't go up as much as people might have thought they would, because the economy was doing quite well, and these companies had enough money that they were able to absorb the cost without having to risk losing consumers by being the first ones to raise prices. But some goods did get more expensive. Tariffed goods got more expensive, like washing machines. And then goods that come along with tariffed goods got more expensive, like dryers. So, I don't know, fucking. And we're in a bit more of a precarious position now than we were then, because now we've had like post-COVID. He put tariffs in the EU and they retaliated as well. Yeah, that's what happens. You're an isolationist, bro. Unless it's drone wars. In the best sense possible, aesthetically speaking, you low-key sound like if Ben Shapiro and Destiny had a baby. Thanks for the €5. Okay. I mean, if you meant it in the best possible way, how could I possibly? Is it true that Hamas was funded by the Netanyahu government? Nope. It's total horseshit. There was a period in the 2010s when Netanyahu was allowing Qatari money to go into Gaza, which would be administered by Hamas, when Hamas were in a bit of a crisis because of their falling out with the PA. That's why they did that. They allowed Qatari money to go in. And that money was labeled for humanitarian use. It was humanitarian aid money. So if you think Netanyahu shouldn't have done that, and some people definitely do, the problem with it is when people make this argument, I know what they're referring to. They're referring to the Qatari money. But the only reason you would oppose Netanyahu doing that at the time would be if you were a right-winger. Oh, Netanyahu shouldn't have allowed humanitarian aid money to go into Gaza. What the fuck? That's a good idea. Very pro-Palestinian idea. That is completely not true. What part of what I just said is not true, Zilazo? Most people who were against it were from the center left. What, they were against sending aid money to Gaza? I'm not talking about in Israel. I know there was an Israeli labor person who was annoyed at it because they were representing the southern Israel. So they were representing people in the southern, in the Gaza envelope. Don't people need aid though? Yeah. Yeah, they do. And they did. Updates to the Southport murder story. Oh, he had an Al Qaeda manual. What the fuck? Teen accused of fatally stabbing 3 girls at the UK dance class made ricin and had an Al Qaeda training manual. Damn, you're a Breaking Bad fan? What the fuck? He made poison out of beans, yo. Al Qaeda training manual. Military studies in the jihad against the tyrants. Did you fix your audio? Nope. I mean, I've been on my laptop most of the day, or at least for a few hours. I've been on my laptop and it hasn't cut out yet. I think the problem is that it's Windows 10. I just realized I'm on Windows 10. And Windows 10 doesn't seem to have an option for disappearing your sound devices. So when you disable them, they're still sitting there. And it seems like they might enable themselves sometimes and try to grab a hold of whatever's going on. So that's annoying. And I haven't figured out a way to, because when you take it off on Windows 11. When I take it off on Windows 10, it vanishes. It's just like, new charges for allegedly making ricin, which violates a law prohibiting biological weapons in the UK, possessing information, namely a PDF file of a kind likely to be useful to a person committing or preparing an act of terrorism. Bro. What part of the Al Qaeda manual told him to just go and stab 3 girls? What the fuck? Maybe he was planning more? Fucked up. I'm assuming the Discord audio won't work either. Bro, I'm not touching Discord. Discord's terrifying me right now. Hell no. Fuck that. Is Tommy going to use this as proof he was right? Oh, what? He might tweet it from jail. Sure, why not? Why not? Because he's going to jail, bro. He's getting 18 months. He's a terrorist. Was it? Oh, it was contempt of court. What was the terrorist? Oh, he ignored a court order. Sorry, he wasn't actually jailed for terror charges. He was detained for terror charges at one point or something. Damn. He defied a court order by repeating false claims about a Syrian teenage refugee who had successfully sued him for libel. It's the same case again. He was sued for defamation for lying about this kid and causing serious damage to him and his family's life with no evidence. And he lost the defamation case, but now he's continued to lie about him. What a fucking stubborn little cunt. Bro, you're 41 years old. You got a family and shit. 18 months in prison. Convicted of lying. Imagine lying so bad they put you in fucking jail, bro. Bruh. That's just embarrassing. No evidence other than the documentary. Yeah, what? The one that he made himself. Why is it a crime to lie? It's not a crime to lie. It's a crime to defame someone. It's a crime to knowingly and maliciously lie about someone in a way that causes damages to them, which in this case, it did. Oh, is Dan launching a website about Twitch today? He loves his little websites, doesn't he? Look at this. I was incorrect.
Please try and get on the Majority Report to make them understand how dumb and harmful they are getting on IP. They had another huge yell today, saying Israel is white supremacist and such.
Thanks for the $10, DJ Monotonous. Listen, no, I'm not going on their show. I'm not calling into the Majority Report. Never agree to a debate where you don't have equal control over the mic. I learned that a long time ago, and it's remains true to this day. It's like setting myself up to go and debate fucking Ben Shapiro when he comes to a university. It's like, what the fuck? Have you seen the documentary? Has it been disproven? Documentaries, even ones that are made to a high standard, are never really that trustworthy, I would say. I haven't seen the Tommy one, but I watched the Panorama one. I watched that one, and it was just the most underwhelming fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. It was so stupid. They basically like set up this journalist who was investigating Tommy, and they faked a text from Tommy to one of his friends saying that he was going to assault her and shit, right? So when he's actually doing the interview, he asks Tommy, he just says, "Did you send this message?" And Tommy's like, "Look, I got you. You're trying to lie about me. That's a fake text." I'm like, bro, he asked you the question. He did everything a journalist is supposed to do. He had a bit of evidence that was given to him, and then he asked you a question, gave you a right to reply. And it's like, just that kind of shit. Documentaries are fucking bullshit, okay? Like, on all these things. Especially if they're made by partisans. It's so easy to lie with a documentary. It was defamation, yes. He said that the fucking kid was grooming girls. The documentary packed full to the brim with witness statements. What the fuck do you mean by witness statements? Like, you realize that the kid who was attacking the Syrian boy was a witness, right? You realize that his friends would have been witnesses. Like, we're talking about an entire fucking family that kid came from, who was attacking the Syrian boy, who had criminal convictions, all for race-related shit. Like, if you really think there's something compelling in there, what did Tommy say? That he beat a girl black and blue and then threatened to stab another boy. He did stab another boy. Interesting. And your proof of this is what? People claiming to be witnesses in a Tommy Robinson documentary. Why did these people not go to court? Were these people witnesses in court? What? I'm not sure how valid all they apparently did, but their testimonies were kicked out for inconsistencies. It's like that. It's that whole thing. I don't even know why the fuck am I entertaining this? Why am I entertaining this? If someone has damning information that can change the results of a court case, judge them by what they say in court and how it goes in court. Don't judge them by what they say in a documentary that's made with no oversight, with no checks and balances, with no vetting. Why would you do that? That's made by the guy and presented by the guy who's on trial. What the fuck, man? Let's see what the story says. This guy. Tommy Robinson jailed after admitting contempt of court by repeating false allegation about Syrian refugee. He admitted to breaching an injunction made after he was successfully sued for libel in 2021. When asked by Mr. Justice Johnson whether he had accepted that he committed the breaches, Robinson nodded and then replied yes. Lawyers previously told the judge that the breaches included Robinson having published, caused, authorized, or procured a film titled Silenced, which contained the libelous allegations in May last year. The film remains pinned to the top of his profile on social media site X, while he also repeats the claims in 3 interviews between February and June 2023. What was the libel case about? He was filmed in 2018. Mr. Hijazi, this is the boy. You think he'd be a teenager? He'd be late teens now, right? Filmed being attacked at Almondbury Community School in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire in October 2018. He was 15 at the time, I think. The boy's lawyers said false allegations made by Robinson had a devastating effect on him and his family, who came to the UK as refugees. They were forced to move home and abandon his education. Mr. Justice Nicklin ordered Robinson to pay Hijazi £100,000 in damages. Doesn't English libel law have a pretty low standard for guilt? Not as low as it used to. Not as low as it used to. I think I think this changed actually not that long ago. I'm pretty sure you have to prove damages now, but I don't think you always had to. Charged with one count of failing to provide his PIN to the PIN to his mobile phone number under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act. Okay. Two-tier Kier. Arthur, I imagine if you're the kind of person who's going to believe a Tommy Robinson documentary after the amount of times this cunt lies about things, then you're probably beyond saving. So I don't know. Maybe I should. I'm sitting in my head thinking, okay, what if I watch the documentary and what if I read the court case and then, which I know you haven't done. What if I read the actual court case and just see why these witnesses weren't able to exonerate Tommy? But life's too short. It's this. This is like when, oh God, there was that video from, like, it must have been like 5 or 6 years ago, when Tommy Robinson said that there was a cop who had come into his house to warn him that Antifa Dundee had assembled a collection of AK-47s to attack him and shit. And it's just a phone recording of a altered voice just saying this shit and like stumbling over his words as he says it, and then he leaves and then nothing comes of it ever again. And the cops are like, yeah, we have not seen any reports of people getting AK-47s in Antifa Dundee or whatever. And I'm just saying, if it seems really compelling in a documentary that's made by the guy who's on trial, but it doesn't work in court, it's probably because it's fucking bullshit. So, prove the documentary is false if you're so confident. Nope, waste of time. Sorry. If you believe one of the most serial liars in the entire country on a documentary that he made with his own fucking people, and then that he promoted after it, none of it went through court, I'm sorry, that's your problem. Sorry. You realize this guy literally tried to incite a fucking riot in Scotland when he said that a fucking Muslim had stabbed someone, even though the cops had to come out, and against what they usually do, they had to make a public statement saying, yeah, this attempted murder that we just apprehended was actually white and non-Muslim. Oh God. So here he's saying he violently attacks young English girls in his school, beat a girl black and blue, had threatened to stab another boy at his school. He secretly recorded conversations with school staff. So if he secretly recorded conversations, that means he's the one in possession of the audio. Okay. I feel like this is all the shit that Lauren Southern used to do in her documentaries. Robinson said he needed to prove to people that what they had said to him, and because the media are out to tell people I lied, that I made it up. He was not legally represented in court after telling earlier he could not afford a lawyer. Oh dear. Well, because they both worked at Rebel Media. That's probably where they learned it from. I wonder if the court documents are there. I'm curious now. Bobby Robinson defamation case. Court documents. We do have public court documents in the UK, don't we? Hijazi versus Yaxley Lennon judgment. 52 pages. The videos, witnesses, hearsay evidence, incidents relied upon by the defendant in support of the truth defense. This probably has everything. Paragraph 32, 36. In his original defense, the defendant advanced a defense of the truth to claimant's claim. Subsequently, he applied to court for permission to amend his defense to add a defense of public interest. Refused that application, did permit some minor amendments to the defendant's truth defense. I left open the possibility that the defendant could reapply to rely on a public interest defense. Ultimately, he did not do so. In consequence, the only substantive defense relied upon by the defendant is the defense of the truth. I permitted some further amendments to the defendant's defense of truth shortly before the trial. At trial, the defendant sought to establish that imputations 1 and 2 are substantially true. Okay. An incident between January to February 2017, when it is alleged that the claimant made an unprovoked attack upon a fellow female pupil, Charlie Matthews. He came behind her and struck her forcefully between the shoulder blades with a weapon in the form of a hockey stick with great force. On an unidentified occasion, the claimant is alleged to have acted in concert with 3 young girls in attacking EYW. Whilst the 3 girls were beating EYW, the claimant is alleged to have joined in and bitten EYW on the head, the group attack incident. The claimant is persistently to have bullied a 12-year-old male child, BWI. The claimant was 15 years old at the time. As part of this alleged bullying, the claimant is alleged to have put BWI in an extreme headlock. When another child intervened to protect BWI, the claimant fell to the floor and fractured his arm. He is alleged to have racially abused BWI's mother by calling her a fat white bitch. Ooh. The claimant is alleged frequently to have been verbally aggressive towards female students and female teachers. On the day of the playing field incident, the claimant is alleged to have threatened to stab Bailey McLaren. On a separate unidentified occasion, the claimant is alleged to have stabbed a fellow pupil with a sharp-pointed object. 7. The claimant is alleged to have been caught in possession of a knife and a screwdriver whilst he was at school. The hockey stick incident and group attack incident are relied upon by the defendant to establish the substantial truth of imputation 1, albeit without any pleaded case advanced as to the seriousness of any injuries caused to Charlie Matthews or EYW. The defendant relies upon the alleged threat to stab Bailey McLaren to prove the substantial truth of imputation 2. Most of the other incidents relied upon by the defendant were included in his original defense, and the claimant raised no objection to them. They have been expanded slightly by amendment with the court's permission. Check 41 for defense witnesses list. Yeah, okay. The defendant was allowed to rely upon these further incidents because if he were able to prove them, then although they would not themselves prove the substantial truth of imputations 1 and 2, he might be successful in demonstrating that the claimant had a propensity towards bullying and violent behavior. In turn, he could rely upon this propensity as lending evidential support to the main incidents upon which the defendant was relying to prove the substantial truth of imputations 1 and 2. I have only excluded from the defendant's defense of truth matters that are either incapable of proving the truth of imputations 1 and 2, for example, allegations relating to the conduct of the claimant's sister, or matters for which the defendant has no evidence in support and therefore no prospect of success. The defendant has been given the fullest opportunity to prove the truth of his allegations in these proceedings. Okay. He must establish the essential or substantial truth of the sting of the alleged libel. Court should not be too literal in its approach. Proof of every detail is not required. Isolate the essential core of the libel. Okay. Guys, we're just reading the document, okay? Witnesses. The claimant and his father gave evidence and were cross-examined by the defendant. The defendant did not give evidence. He called 5 witnesses at the trial in support of his truth defense: AYQ, Bailey McLaren, BWI, Charlie Matthews, and OTP. Each witness had been a pupil at the school at the relevant time. Some of the witnesses were still under the age of 18. I made reporting restrictions to protect the identities of several of them and have used 3-letter ciphers in this judgment to protect the identities of these witnesses. The other main source of evidence are the substantial school records that have been obtained in relation to several pupils at the school. Bailey McLaren, Charlie Matthews, and OTP. Both parties have obtained these records, usually following subject access requests made. Understandably, before being provided in response to the relevant subject access request, the records were redacted by the local authority to remove information related to third parties. Before the trial, the defendant expressed concern about some of the redactions. There are examples where more than one copy of a document has been provided, probably in response to different requests, in which the redactions are slightly differently. I am satisfied that this variance is not because of anything sinister or untoward. It's likely simply to reflect idiosyncrasies in the approach to redaction of the records carried out, probably by different people on separate occasions. Okay, disclosed documents. In this case, the school records are, in my judgment, important for 2 main reasons. First, they are contemporaneous records of events at the school. That is not to say that they can be relied upon necessarily as demonstrating the truth of what happened in various incidents. Many of the documents simply record what was said by those who have claimed to have witnessed or been involved in events. In places, those accounts conflict. Nevertheless, they are valuable as contemporaneous records of the various accounts. So when you said school records earlier, you were referring to, at least here, complaints made by the school kids. And then they're written down as a school record. Nevertheless, they are valuable contemporaneous records, important in assessment of credibility of witnesses. Okay. If the judge is satisfied that certain contemporaneous documentation is likely to have existed where the oral evidence correct, then documentation may be conspicuous by its absence, and the judge may be able to draw inferences from its absence. Hearsay evidence. Before the pretrial review held on 22nd of March 2021, the defendant provided the court and the claimant's solicitors with a series of links to video recorded interviews or edited extracts of interviews with various individuals. I'm just thinking, going ahead with this, it must be so hard to determine. It must be so hard to determine if a school story is accurate, because, bro, I remember I was like 12 years old and I was doing like a mock sleeper hold to one of my friends. And I was like very careful with it because he was a friend, right? But when one of the teachers came round, he started like pretending to cough quite aggressively. And turned out he wasn't actually that much of a friend, because when she started giving me in trouble, he wouldn't like explain that he was fucking pretending, and I got to go and talk to the fucking principal and shit. I got what was called a yellow card that they gave you. Yeah, I got a yellow card for that. Fucking hell, man. Like, school kids are savages. He gave a general indication that he intended to rely upon these video recordings as hearsay evidence. Oh yeah, he provided links to video recorded interviews, okay. Or edited extracts of interviews. This was an unorthodox method of presenting evidence, not least because it was clearly apparent from the recordings that most of the interviews had been carried out without the subject of the interview being aware that she or he was being recorded. In one of the interviews, the defendant indicated that he was gathering material to make a program about the case after the trial. I made directions for the proper service of these video recordings and the identification of particular passages in the interviews upon which the defendant wished to rely as hearsay evidence. The defendant duly served hearsay notices under the Civil Evidence Act 95 in respect of 3 individuals and provided extracts of the parts of their interviews upon which he wished to rely. The 3 interviewees were EYW's mother and other people in the school, MVY, and a former teacher of the school, the former teacher. I will not name the former teacher in this judgment, as he was clearly unaware at the time that he spoke to the defendant that he was being recorded. Indeed, the former teacher told the defendant that he was not permitted to speak about events at the school. So I consider that it is highly unlikely that the former teacher would have given his consent for any interview to be recorded. When assessing hearsay evidence, the court's task is generally to determine the weight, if any, to be attached to the evidence. And this is the requirements. Okay, I don't need to go through case law just now. What's this? Hearsay evidence shall not be admitted in civil proceedings if or to the extent that it is shown to consist of or to be proven by means of a statement made by a person who at the time he made the statement was not competent as a witness. A child shall be treated as competent as a witness if he satisfies the requirements of section 96.2a. Okay. Child's evidence may be heard by the court if, in its opinion, he understands that it's his duty to speak the truth and has a sufficient understanding to justify his evidence being heard. I have watched again the extracts of the recordings of the interviews with EYW's mother, MVY, and the former teacher. It is quite apparent from the recordings that none of the individuals was aware that he or she was being recorded. I will deal with specific points that arise on this hearsay evidence when I come to deal with various incidents, but as a general proposition, the court must be cautious when assessing the weight that can be attached to evidence that has been obtained by covertly recording an individual. There may be circumstances in which the surreptitious recording leads to the witness giving a candid and truthful account that he or she might not be prepared to give if they knew their words were being recorded. On the other hand, covert recording may give rise to the risk of the witness not telling the truth or embellishing his or her account. As I noted in the pretrial review, individuals who were covertly recorded by the defendant may be genuinely shocked to discover that what they said to the defendant had been presented as evidence to the court during a high court libel trial. Transcript of the discussion relied upon by the defendant. So this is probably what you showed in the documentary. So this is Tommy, defendant. Because he gets with a knife. I've got proof. He got caught with a knife and a screwdriver. He gets caught with a knife and a screwdriver in his bag. Now, their whole thing is it's because he was scared. He was scared in school. Would he have been scared? MVY. There's no reason for him to be scared, to be honest. Unidentified? Yeah, but nobody liked him. He had friends. That's the thing. He had friends. He chilled with people. But it's not like he was the most hated in school. What would the reasons be for people not liking him? Being an idiot to people, trying to cause fights. That's it. Yeah, he caused them. Mostly. What about with younger pupils? The only one I can think of is BWI. Yeah? I've got that nailed, to be honest. Because he's the one he had a fight with. Was it a fight as well? It was just Jamal punching him, really. BWI backing off. Which one is MVY? Is this a student or a teacher? Backing off and Jamal throwing punches. Okay, and so the Bailey thing. So you went to school with Bailey? Yeah. Racist? No. Nothing at all? No, because you said he was all right at first. Yeah, he was all right. When he first came to the country, he was not talkative at all. But when he got in, he was talkative. He was a nice boy at first. Changed randomly out of nowhere, somewhere at the end of year 9, beginning of year 10, started being an idiot towards people. which coincide with school records. What about your mum said something about he put something between his hands? It was a compass. I remembered it yesterday just as you went. It was a compass. He got a compass and he was going around like 5 students going, yes, yes. And when he got to me, he went, smacks his hand proper hard into me. Maybe bleeding everything. I think it was name of teacher that proper gave him a telling off. Quite apart from the fact that MVY is unaware that he is being recorded, that short transcript extract also raises issues about the defendant's use of leading questions, prompting from an unidentified third party, whether MVY directly witnessed events he recounted or whether he was repeating simply what he had been told, and contains a clear indication that MVY had given further information, not recorded in the extract provided by the defendant, thereby preventing an assessment of the totality of his account. These are all matters in addition to the specific factors identified in the Civil Evidence Act, which must be considered when I come on to assess the weight attached to this hearsay evidence. Which new information are they giving? Was it the screwdriver and the knife? Incidents relied upon by the defendant in support of truth defense. $65 is interesting. Okay. I will deal with each of the incidents relied upon by the defendant in support of his defense of truth. I will resolve any relevant disputes of fact and state my conclusions as to the credibility of the witnesses. I will deal first with what I have identified as matters relied upon by the defendant as going to alleged propensity on part of the claimant towards bullying and violent behavior. Alleged bullying of BWI by the claimant. In the playing field incident, the claimant can be seen with his arm in a plaster cast. It is common ground that the claimant fractured his wrist as the result of an incident at the school on October 1st, 2018, involving BWI, who was then in Year 8, and some other children. The injury required surgery, and the claimant's arm was in a cast for 6 weeks after the incident. Wait, is BWI, is this the person who is actually a family friend of Tommy? I think one of these witnesses was actually a family friend. Is this the guy, the kid who had the fucking, like, who came from the racist, the race hatred family? I'm asking these questions because I don't remember fully. It's been so long. Yeah, we'll get to it later. We'll just see what the court says. The incident with BWI has to be considered in the context of the claimant's evidence that he was a victim of bullying at the school and that this incident was part of this. The claimant's evidence about the incident with BWI was that he has been going to the library with a friend when they came across Bailey McLaren and other members of his group of friends. With them was BWI, who was a few years younger. He claimed that Bailey had given BWI a bottle of water, and BWI had then thrown water in the faces of the claimant and his friend. The claimant then said he gave his school bag to his friend and then chased after BWI to get the water and to ask why he had done it. He seized the water bottle and threw it to the ground. The claimant was then grabbed by other boys who held his arms behind his back and encouraged BWI to fight him whilst he was restrained. The claimant struggled but could not release his arms. He alleged that BWI had tried to grab his throat. The claimant was released and then another boy pushed him to the ground. As a result of the fall, he fractured his arm. The claimant denied having put BWI in a headlock. When cross-examined by the defendant, the claimant maintained his account. He added the BWI had been swearing and kicking him during the incident. BWI's account of the incident in his witness statement was short. In the viral video, Jamal could be seen wearing a plaster cast on his arm. It's widely said this was a result of bullying. I wish to point out that this was not the case. That happened after a confrontation between myself and Jamal when he had been calling my mum a fat white bitch. When he said that about my mum and I went up to him, even though he was 3 years older than me, I was angry. at what he'd called her and threw a plastic bottle at him. Jamal grabbed me and put me in a headlock and was really hurting me. Lots of people saw it. One boy stopped Jamal by pushing him off. He fell awkwardly to hurt his arm on the ground. That's why he was wearing a plaster cast, not because he was bullied, but because he was bullying me. BWI did not claim that this incident was part of any campaign of bullying by the claimant. When BWI gave evidence at the trial, he confirmed his witness statement, and then the defendant asked him some further questions. He confirmed that he was age 12 when the incident happened, and he was now 15. The incident, he said, had taken place when the claimant had been making his way across a school field. BWI was with MVY and another couple of boys. He stated that Bailey McLaren was not there and that he was in the cafeteria. When cross-examined, BWI confirmed that he had not written his witness statement and that someone had done it for him. Bailey McLaren was, he said, someone he knew through his sister, as she was a mate of his. Asked how well he knew Bailey on a scale of 1 to 10, BWI stated 7. He denied that Bailey had provided him with a bottle of water and claimed that the bottle had been in his pocket as he had been playing football. He denied that anyone held the claimant's arms behind his back during the incident. In his witness statement for trial, OTP stated that he had witnessed the incident with BWI. On another occasion, Jamal was grabbing a much younger kid from about year 7, and Jamal was in year 11. He put this kid in a headlock, and a friend of mine went over and threw Jamal off him, just as anyone would, breaking up a fight. Except this wasn't a fight. It was a one-sided brawl. The kid was not matched against Jamal, and he didn't come up to Jamal's shoulder. My friend pushed him off the boy, and Jamal fell to the curb and hurt his arm. Jamal had been picking on this kid for a week or so, pushing him, tripping him up. My friend had seen him doing it, and we'd had enough. He said, "You're not doing this anymore," and pushed him off him. That was all. When cross-examined, OTP stated that he was at the top of the field when the incident started, sitting on a bench on the other side of the road, and was quite a way away. He said that his recollection was a bit hazy. He said that his attention had been drawn to what was going on when he heard BWI shouting, and he had gone over to see what was going on, a point he had not included in his statement. He claimed to have seen the claimant's arms flailing. Asked why that detail was not included in his witness statement, he said that he was not sure whether they had made contact, so that was why it was not included. The claimant completed an incident report in relation to the incident on October 8th. He claimed a boy in year 8 come up to him, thrown water at the claimant, this is Jamal, and his friend, then for no reason, when I was trying to take the water off him, came and he held me and started saying to someone else to bang him. I was trying to defend myself and redacted came from my back. And when he bust me real hard with his shoulder, I fell and I went to the medical room and they gave me ice to put on my hand. I was using deep spray at home. I told my mum and dad I was scared to go to hospital. After 4 days, I went to hospital. I was still scared and my hand was broken. And BWI is saying I swore at his mum and I think that is not correct. Document has been provided, I understand, in response to a subject access request by the claimant, which sets out extracts from various incident reports completed by other unidentified peoples related to the incident. In an incident report dated 4th of October 2018, one pupil, who from the contents appears to be BWI, recorded, Jamal was talking about mine and redacted's mum. I squirted water in Jamal's face, and then Jamal pushed me and punched me in the stomach. In an incident reported dated 10th of October 2018, another pupil recorded, redacted held Jamal back. He was swinging at redacted. In an undated incident report, a third pupil reported, Jamal walked over to redacted and called his mum a slag and a prostitute, threw water in Jamal's face. Jamal started punching redacted in the face and missed, so he went for his stomach. I pushed Jamal and he rolled over and held his head. These entries may not give the full picture if they had been provided in response to a subject access request by the claimant. Other parts of the incident report, if there are any, which do not directly refer to him, will not have been disclosed. It is clear, however, that there is no reference in any of these accounts to the claimant having held BWI in the headlock or an incident having started when, as BWI claimed in the evidence at the trial, the claimant had called his mother a fat white bitch, although the third people's account does allege abuse of BWI's mother. Do you agree with the last sentence of 65? It's clear that there's no reference in any of these accounts to the claimant having held BWI in a headlock. This is about swinging, punching. He put this kid in a headlock, went to throw him off him. Yeah, the headlock is from OTP, who said they were quite hazy. Threw a plastic bottle, grabbed me and put me in a headlock, so BWI. This is quite the Tommy Robinson tangent. There are two emails about the incident. The first is an email from a teacher to another member of staff responsible for the claimant's work placement. Parents are frustrated and angry that the person who pushed Jamal had no consequence. However, what I assume Jamal did not tell them was that the person who pushed him out of the way was defending Redacted, who Jamal had allegedly pushed/hit and was having an argument with. The second is an email from one of the member of staff to another. I'll call you in the morning to discuss this, but in brief, all the statements, apart from the claimant, state that the claimant said something to BWI. Yeah, so, okay. BWI then tried to squirt water at the claimant. The claimant began punching. BWI was bent over him. People B saw what was happening and pushed the claimant off. As he was pushed, the claimant rolled and fell over the floor. The claimant, Jamal, went to seek medical attention in school, which was given. Parents were advised to take him to A&E to have it checked out. Taken to A&E a few days later, broken arm. I can state my conclusions on this incident shortly. The defendant contends that this incident shows that the claimant has a propensity to use violence and is a bully. In my judgment, it does not establish either. BWI did not claim in his evidence that he was bullied by the claimant. The defendant has not demonstrated that in the incident with the alleged headlock, the claimant was the aggressor. I think it is more likely than not that the claimant was the victim of violence that was used, and that this was another incident of bullying at the hands of the boys older than BWI, but BWI was willing, perhaps, to curry favor with the older boys to involve himself in the incident. The claimant may have fought back, but it is likely to have been in self-defense. I've set out my conclusions about other aspects of OTP's evidence below. I cannot accept his evidence as truthful. He appeared to me to tailor his evidence in a way that he thought supported the account that he had heard BWI give in evidence. His evidence about this incident was unconvincing, embellished in the witness box, and I cannot accept it as reliable or credible. 76, and then 114 to 116. Oh, they do isolation in England. What's this to do with 76, with what he said here? 114 to 116. What of OTP's evidence purporting to confirm the hockey stick incident? It appeared to me that during his cross-examination, OTP was tailoring his evidence in an effort to support the evidence of Charlie, whom he had heard being cross-examined. He was astute enough to appreciate that the lack of any other witnesses in a class of more than 20 pupils might cast doubt on the credibility of the account. So, ridiculously, he claimed that every other child had been looking the other way when the assault happened. The hockey stick incident happened in a classroom of 20 people. However, OTP was not adept enough to be able to navigate his account around his claim that Charlie had been sent to seek medical assistance by the teacher when she had made no such claim. And whether the teacher had even been in the room when the incident happened. I have already rejected OTP's evidence in relation to the incident involving BWI. I'm also satisfied that OTP's evidence about the hockey stick incident was dishonest fabrication that fell apart when he was cross-examined on the details. Like other witnesses, I am also concerned that OTP's evidence has been influenced by others. In his witness statement, there is a paragraph that starts with the words, "check this," before setting out an account of something the claimant was alleged to have said in a French class about Bailey McLaren's sisters. Asked about this in cross-examination, he first said that these words indicated that it was something that needed to be checked. He then accepted it was something that had been suggested to him, should be included in the statement. He did not identify who had made the suggestion. I have paused to consider why Charlie Matthews and OTP would be willing to come to a high court trial and lie for the defendant. I cannot readily identify an explanation why they'd be prepared to do so. Charlie stated in evidence that she is in the first year of a law degree. Objectively, therefore, she has much to lose by giving false evidence in court proceedings. Ultimately, however, whilst identifying a motive or reason for giving false evidence can sometimes provide support for the conclusion that the evidence is untrue, it is not necessary to identify a reason. People can lie for reasons that make no sense, sometimes for no reason at all. I'm quite satisfied that the evidence of both Charlie Matthews and OTP about the hockey stick incident is false. Is the hockey stick incident really... Did it really happen in a classroom of 20 people? This is her describing it. Chosen hockey and so Jamal. He hit me aggressively with a hockey stick. There's no way this could have been part of the game or an attempt to hit the ball. Oh, this was during a game. During the game, Mr. Cattell went to the storeroom and I had the ball as part of the game. I just managed to get the ball from Jamal, who was on the other team. And I hit to my teammates on the other side of the room. After I'd hit the ball to my team, I felt a blow in the middle of my back, between my shoulder blades, caused me to go to my knees. The way the blow came down with force onto my spine in a downward motion meant that he must have swung the hockey stick over his shoulder. Walked off and muttered something in his own language. Began to have a panic attack in the changing room. There were other students in the class who had witnessed this behavior. After the lesson was over, I went back to the sports hall and told Mr. Cattell what had happened. He said he would deal with it, but didn't hear anything else about this incident. In pain for the rest of the day. Still take medication for the pain. I feared Jamal by this point. I did not do PE for about 3 months following the attack, and the school were aware of the injury. I currently see a chiropractor for the pain. Would you go to a chiropractor after being hit in the back with a stick? Huh? Not if you're smart. Yeah, what the fuck? Shiatsu. Yeah, well. She said she'd spoken to Mr. Cattell whilst he was in the storeroom. She did not get sent to the medical facility, but someone else said she had. "20 to 30 people were playing hockey. Someone else claimed that only part of the class had been doing hockey because he'd been watching from the sidelines. Charlie's evidence that the hockey game took place in the last 10 minutes of the PE lesson." Okay. God, this is so fucking hairy with school kids. Jesus Christ. One witness statement said it was clear that the teacher was present, but the cross-examination showed that he was in the storeroom. Bailey said that lots of people saw it. But Bailey then confirmed that he had not seen the incident himself. Heard about it by rumor. Charlie Matthews' evidence is simply incredible. On her account, in the middle of a school PE lesson, she had been the victim of a serious, unprovoked assault in which a hockey stick had been used effectively as a weapon. The incident described by Charlie was a serious criminal assault that could easily have led to the claimant's prosecution. As a result of the assault, she claimed that she lived in fear of the claimant, that the incident had been a significant contributor to anxiety and ultimately to her being unable to continue at the school. And 4 years later, she was still in pain, for which she was taking prescription medication. This is a good example of a series of events which, if true, would have generated a host of either supportive or corroborative statements. First, according to Charlie, she reported the incident to the teacher in charge of the PE lesson. It was an incident alleged to have been witnessed by OTP, though he claimed by none of the other pupils in the class. It is clear from Charlie's own school records that on 15th of April 2016, when she had suffered a nosebleed as a result of being struck by a cricket ball in a PE lesson, an accident report was completed by the school, which was sent home to her parents. An entry was also made in a diary kept by the school recording the incident. This records that Charlie's mother had been informed of the incident and she had said that Charlie could come home. This is the sort of documentation which is routinely kept up by schools in relation to incidents of significance. The reason why such records are kept are obvious and need no elaboration. Wow. Will not elaborate. The reasons why such records are kept, the allegations of the hockey stick incident are true, if they are true, putting matters at their lowest. A pupil at the school had suffered an injury as a result of being hit with a hockey stick during a PE lesson. The incident had been reported to the teacher in charge of the lesson, but if true, he did nothing about it. Not only did he take no immediate action against the claimant, but no investigation was initiated subsequently to find out whether there were grounds upon which to discipline the claimant. Further, no record was made even of the injury or in the circumstances which had been caused. Why would the teacher act in such gross dereliction of his duty? No remotely credible explanation has been provided by the defendant. The reason I am satisfied is that no such incident was reported by Charlie to any member of staff, as apparently confirmed in April 2019, entries in Charlie's records. because no such incident happened. Apparently, Charlie's anxiety issues predated the hockeyist. Oh no. Oh shit. No, oh, even after the attack, apparently. No mention of the hockey stick incident. Bro, who is this Charlie Bailey? Bro, what the fuck? What was the thing? That Lucy Brown lady did a whole thing about this. Apparently this Bailey person, Bailey McLaren, the person who yeah, no, I was right. The guy who attacked the kid in the viral video, the Syrian kid, his mother was arrested for racial abuse, and his older brother was a supporter of Britain First, jailed for assault. Oh no. Oh no. Not good, bro. Wowee. I think she did a whole thread about this, didn't she? I don't think I can remember the thread, though. It was posted around just before the riots. I don't think it crosses the threshold for knowingly lying. Why not? Because you think people told him and he believed it? That might be true in some countries, but not in the UK. Okay. Anyway, what the fuck is this? Giving this too much attention. Okay. Did you see the Trump tweet? What? The Trump tweet? There's a Trump tweet. Tangent over. Which Trump tweet? There's so many of them. Which Trump tweet? The pedo one? Kafefe? No, it's not Kafefe. What pedo one? What's the pedo one? I don't care. Don't care about the Trump tweet. Of which I'm sure there are many. I don't doubt it. Okay? Fuck. I wanted to watch. Wait, the one of him kissing a child on the lip. What is that? Did that actually become a thing? Is that would be a video, not a tweet? You can't tweet yourself doing that unless he posted the video himself. What? God, there's someone in fucking Discord who's gone out fishing. What the fuck? Okay, cool. And they're posting pictures of it. Wild. Okay, sorry. Wasting too much time. I need to read the entire court document because that'll be funny. But I'll do that off stream. Jesus Christ. Okay. Right. You guys wanted to talk about... Well, I want to talk about what the fuck. Oh. I ain't calm. Sorry. What is the... Oh yeah, this is the whole thing. I think the whole clip... I couldn't actually find the full video for this because maybe it's not uploaded to CNN's channel. F. Is there an F in the chat? Oh no. Don't let it be so. Is there? Hunter Biden laptop stream. Shut up. Hell no. No F. Okay, it's fine. All right. Mehdi Hasan. I don't normally agree with a lot of what Mehdi says about Israel-Palestine. I think he's a bit of a useful idiot for bad faith voices, but he's not the worst of them. He won't support like the Axis or Hamas or anything like that. But all the same, actually, Mehdi Hasan recently got in trouble with a lot of hard left pro-Palestinian activists, with a lot more extreme ones. I think it was Mohammed al-Kurd who had a go at Mehdi Hasan for saying that you should vote for Harris because she wouldn't, in Mehdi's words, she wouldn't allow Israel to go as far as Trump would, which is true. It's completely true. Even if you hate everything Israel does in Palestine, they would do worse under Trump. And we know that with increasing amounts of evidence of what's happened behind the scenes between the American administration and the Israeli government. We know that the Israelis have tried to do things and wanted to do things that they weren't allowed to because of American pressure. We know that. But anyway. He also... he angers the other side as well, though, okay? Much worse, I'd say.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop doing...
You're called an anti-Semite more than anyone else at this table.
Yeah.
And people will sit there and... No, by me. I never called you an anti-Semite. Okay. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I don't...
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, well, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is that...
Did you just say I should die?
God.
You should not...
No, I
Did you just say...
As far as I know, this guy, Ryan Gidersky, is he Israeli or... I don't think he is, right? He heard Palestinian and said, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. It's not even, he's not even specifying like a terror organization or anything. He's just saying, he's not even mentioning the right country. The beepers were Hezbollah. No, what? Oh, God. I don't think he's Israeli, though. Is he Jewish or? I heard some people were calling him, a Christian Zionist. Is that true? Is that true? He's a Catholic. Oh, no. Christian, yeah. Written for the Richard Spencer. Okay. Yeah, so he's a Christian Zionist. What an insane thing to say on CNN, bro. Again, you can disagree with what Mehdi Hasan says about so many things, but you realize that people who support Hamas and Hezbollah and all those guys, like, they don't like Mehdi Hasan. They don't think he's radical enough. And they also don't like Mehdi Hasan because he ultimately believes in harm reduction. Like, he wants to vote Democrat over allowing Trump to win, or even Jill Stein. And he also bullied the shit out of Jill Stein as well, which is very funny. Damn.
Did you just say I should die?
You
should not.
No,
did you just say I should be killed?
No, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Hold on.
Did your guest just say I should be killed on live
say?
TV?
I said I hope
Guys,
you're...
let me just stop.
You said you hope my beeper doesn't go off.
Because you sound a big supporter
of the Palestinians.
Of Hamas.
Guys, let me
said
stop.
Palestinians.
Are you?
Am I what?
He's asking if he's Hamas. Are you Hamas? Bro, what the fuck? Okay.
I apologize.
Are you a racist, violent person inside
Damn, he's in heat.
Ryan.
That's disgusting.
The entire panel just turned on him as well. I don't know if everyone was against Mehdi at the beginning, but everyone is... Ooh.
Completely.
No, I apologize.
Good job, CNN. Let's have first block say the Muslim guy should be blown up.
I apologize.
On
I
TV.
apologize.
Don't say then I apologize. You literally.
I thought he said Hamas. I
You didn't think I said Hamas.
No,
I
you
said I
didn't.
supported Palestinian
Yes, I
rights.
did.
Why? Because when you hear
What's funny is Rudy
It's easy to mix those two up, you know, Hamas, Palestinian. They sound very similar.
Giuliani said this
No,
yesterday,
because-
so you're a great guest
Listen.
to be here
All
to
right,
defend
I
Rudy
told
Giuliani.
myself
Give me
I
one
wasn't going to
second.
entertain
Give me one
nonsense
second.
today, and so at this point,
This is what we're in
I
now.
can't
This
do
is America in
Here's
2024.
what I will say.
Forget the
Here's what
racism.
That's right.
It's I should
That's
die.
right.
I didn't say that. You
You
should
said,
die.
what does beeper mean? Don't give me your
I
fake
did not
ignorance.
say you should
Guys,
die.
Why did you say
guys,
with my
give me-
beeper
give me
go
a-
off?
What did you mean?
What did
Is he
you
playing the deniability? Oh, I said I hope your beeper doesn't go off. Aha, well done, sir. Well done. Wow. Ooh. Uh-oh.
mean by the beeper?
So what
I
did
said-
you mean?
What did you mean by the beeper?
No,
No, you didn't. You said, I hope your
Listen,
beeper
but
doesn't
let-
go off.
Ryan,
By the way, if Mehdi was actually like a vocal supporter of Hamas, Hezbollah, and all that, and he was actually doing the whole like, oh, Israelis are not civilians, all that, then I don't give a fuck what this guy says about him. But like, that's not Mehdi Hasan though. Mehdi Hasan's different. He's not like. Jesus.
At least have the guts to support your racist
sorry.
comment.
Hang on.
I'm so sorry.
Let her bring it back.
This is why yesterday's rally was disgusting.
Don't call us Nazis, but I'm going to
outrageous.
threaten the brown guy as a
This is
terrorist
why.
and kill him.
I didn't ever say Donald Trump was Hitler. But do you know who stood on a stage yesterday and said, I want to come to the Nazi rally? I don't have to make up words and call you something. You're saying it for yourself. And what you just said
Kamala
right
Harris
here,
is a pimp
apologize,
handler.
but I will tell you, I don't accept that apology, and you didn't even
Oh,
say
he's
it
a
twice.
Trumper.
That was
Ooh.
disgusting. But I can be offended when you don't even say it to me. I'm
Just
not.
so you guys know, right? This is a fairly reasonable indication of the kind of support of Israel that you would expect from the Trump camp. Right? The Trump camp is not Israel has a right to defend itself. The Trump camp is kill them all. That's their line, worded in one way or the other. So he's kind of proving Mehdi Hasan's point as well, that there's a huge difference between these two parties. And that's very much displayed by that guy. CNN banned him after the comment. Good on them.
Puerto Rican, but I was offended by what he said yesterday. And I'm offended that the former president and potentially future president would allow it and go for 12 hours and not say, I don't care. Because you know what? When Kamala Harris put out statements about switching up opinions, it wasn't good enough for Republicans.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you said it.
Why don't you take this back a little?
Damn. Well, that's it. That's the first. That's the first horseman. It's the first horseman of the Trump apocalypse for the Middle East. God, you think Democrats are bad when people talk about Palestine? You think you don't like Harris? Man, we have no fucking idea. You have no idea what the American brain is capable of when it comes to brown people. This is post 9/11 nation, okay? Those right wingers haven't forgotten that. Ooh. Not good, sir. Not good. Yeah, I know Trump uses the word Palestinian as an insult. Yeah, he's mental. Remember, Trump's only contribution to this war so far, he doesn't talk about aid, he doesn't talk about ceasefire, he talks about finish the war, finish the job. And in the past, he's spoken about murdering the families of terrorists because it's the only way you can send the message. So, you know, and in Afghanistan, he relaxed the rules of engagement, meaning that the threshold for determining a target for airstrikes in terms of collateral damage was lowered, meaning that it was more airstrikes, more civilians died. They relaxed the rules on landmines. Trump's bad, okay? Trump's really bad. He's not bad if you're Benjamin Netanyahu, but otherwise he's bad. He's very bad. Trump's bad. And that guy is a pretty good indicator of what would be in store. Trump wants a golf course in Gaza. Yeah, he does. The best golf course, like nothing you've ever seen. The Catholic Zionists made me remember this video. Ooh, a download link. Hey! What did this Bolsonaro supporter say? What are you saying? Give it to me. What the f... Oh, hang on. Right, let's see.
Por que é que vocês estão com a bandeira de Israel? Porque somos cristãos, assim como Israel.
Oh no. Mate, you have no idea. That must just be the craziest rises to the top, right? I feel like Christian Zionists they're so much more likely to be full of insanity than Jewish ones. I feel like a Jewish Zionist, they can be a liberal Zionist, they can be a conscientious objector, they can be centrist, they can be like occasionally they're Ben Gvir. But I feel like with Christian Zionists, every time you see one that goes viral, it's because they're absolutely fucking insane. Like Doomsday, yeah. What do you call it? Millenarians. The end of the world cult. Ooh. Not good. Not good at all, sir. Apparently the guy who set fires to ballots in Atlanta is confirmed to be a Republican, dude. Good stuff. Didn't that lady, the election worker, didn't she get like 9 years for election fraud and resisting arrest? Because she gave Mike Lindell, she gave the pillow guy access to Dominion machines or some shit. Yeah. Unauthorized. Not good. Okay, tell you what. Aaron, we're going to put this as a joint segment because that was quite short, the Mehdi Hasan one. And I also just want to put this thing to bed for at least a little while. I know it's not going to stop anything because the people I'm dealing with here are mental, but it's a good, every now and then it's just good to give a kind of like peace of mind for the community just so they understand where I'm coming from, because there's a lot of bad faith going on. There's a lot of bullshit, and we just need to transcend the bull, okay? A lot of you guys, some of you guys who are newer to the community, or just don't watch as often, or maybe don't watch the streams, you only watch the VODs, or some of you are a bit unsure about why I don't like to humor History Speaks in my Reddit, in my Twitter feed, and like I blocked them everywhere now. I've blocked them on fucking Discord, Twitter, he came into my Reddit again because I guess he like managed to convince one of the mods to unban him because one of the mod didn't know, and then he appeared and started being incredibly gaslighty and full of shit, and then I banned him again, and now he's tweeting about it. So if you want to know why I don't bother engaging with this person, I'll just give you one example, okay? Let's give you one example. I'll leave aside all the times when he's like gets into these hyper emotional outbursts about me and how he's like he nags the shit out of me. You know, like he'll post like one thing that apparently I need to correct, and then by the time I've read it, there's like 4 other things, and then a moral grandstand outrage tweet and thread. It's just anyway. Leaving aside all that though, that's all just drama. Don't care. I'll give you an example of why this guy is just not worth engaging with. Okay, one example. So a while ago, he made a little thing about my Great March of Return video and how he has a huge issue with it, okay? I still don't think he actually understands my position, but it's okay. It's okay. A while ago, and because of the ban on Reddit yesterday, he was asking like why I had issues with him or why the community was apparently poisoned against him, and I gave some examples. So this is an older one, which I gave an example. He was talking about the Great March of Return and my Obsidian notes, which are public, by the way. They're all accessible. You can read everything. You can read all the hyperlinks, all the notes. He keeps on referring to this apparent propaganda document on the Great March of Return that I relied upon. Okay? For my research. Because apparently I said that around 28 to 30% of people who died of the Great March of Return in that period, given by the UN, about 28 to 30% of them were militants. That's what I said. And he keeps saying I relied on this propaganda document, okay? And when I push him on this, he'll eventually backpedal and say, oh, even though you actually criticized this propaganda document, you still used it, so it's okay to say you relied on it, like a citation. I'm like, okay, it's so obviously bad faith. And if it's not bad faith, then he's just too stupid and too disconnected from the human experience to talk about anything. But anyway, never criticized this document for justifying murder. Okay, so apparently I rely upon a propaganda document. The propaganda document he's talking about is this one talking about the Great March of Return. They did a few of these. They did a few little documents. And the whole claim from this Israeli intel document is them saying that about 80% of the people who died of the Great March of Return were found to be affiliated with Hamas or with other terrorist organizations. Okay? And they give all the breakdowns. Now, you might wonder, 80% is a lot higher than what Learnerbox just said, 28 to 30. Well, it's because they are counting in their 80% militants and affiliates, because not everyone in Hamas or PIJ is a militant. They can be civilian members as well. And they break this down. So here they say membership, okay, 45 Hamas members of the military or security forces and 51 affiliated. Same with Fatah. 6 military, 33 affiliated. So I guess that would be Al-Aqsa Martyrs or whatever was left of them. PIJ, 6 military. DFLP, 1 military, and then the affiliate. Okay, so this is what they say. Now, I have been so clear about my opinions on this data, which you can see. Where I say Israeli Intelligence Center, this is the document that I linked to. I mentioned their stats, and I'm very clear here when I say militant numbers from Hamas and PIJ seem to match, because I did independent research to find out that the numbers were more or less accurate. As for the affiliates, the report mostly gathers pictures and announcements from various social media pages, gives dates of posts but no links, making it very difficult to verify affiliation claims. So those are my notes on this thing. And I even go further and I say that I look at some of their points of evidence. For example, they mentioned this guy here, who is supposedly a militant from Fatah. And I say that I point out that this intel center, their proof of this guy being a militant is that he's from the Fatah Knights Brigades, okay? And when I looked through what the Fatah Knights Brigades were, it turns out that these guys they're not a military organization. They're just like a LARPer Facebook YouTube page. Like they have a YouTube channel where they just post videos of Yasser Arafat speeches. Like they're not militants. And this is just him with a keffiyeh posing next to a picture of Barghouti. I'm like, okay, this isn't really a sign of someone. This isn't really proof of a guy who is taking up arms, right? Or who's building tunnels or who's firing rockets or anything else. Like this could be anyone. This could be a civilian. This could be like a LARPer. This could be, it's most likely that's what he is, right? So in any case, this guy, so I point that out, right? I'm very clear of all that. But this Walloper keeps insisting that I'm relying upon a propaganda document. So I did my own research to check the claims, of this page. And it turns out that whilst I am very skeptical of what they said about people being affiliates, it seems that their claims about the numbers of militants, like actual soldiers, was accurate. But we'll get into that in a second. Here, because we argued about this on Reddit yesterday, he posted this Twitter post just today. He says, Israel Flunky, box loaner, he always says this, he's like a fucking robot, has claimed that the PIC-related Mir Amit's study of militants, brackets terrorists, killed in the Great March of Return, was far more accurate than the UN report on the Great March of Return. The, quote, study he's defending claimed 60 civilian affiliates, a word that isn't even defined, of Gazan political parties killed at the March of Return, including Hamas, PIJ, etc., but also Fatah, which opposes armed struggle. This is such a retarded fucking tone deaf. He knows this is ridiculous. Like, you think Fatah is a fucking monolith? They're one of the most diverse political parties in the entire world, okay? There are members of Fatah who support armed struggle, who carry out armed struggle, and there are members and supporters who oppose it. Stop with this fucking bullshit. Anyway, terrorists. Thus, the report blatantly lied and justified murder of civilians to engineer its preposterous figure that over 80% of Gazans killed at the march were combatants. Yet, Lornabox only has pedantic and nuanced bros criticism of an Israeli government report, legal semantics aside. Mir Amit is best seen as a wing of the Israeli government that openly justified the murder of Gazans. This is the extent to which he dehumanizes the people of Gaza. Just a quick question. If they believe that affiliate equals combatant, why did they separate militants from affiliates? Mr. History Speaks. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? And not to mention, I don't take anything they're saying about affiliates at face value, because it's literally just pictures of someone on a Facebook page or someone buried wearing a Hamas headband at their funeral. I'm like, that's nothing. It's useless to me. It doesn't tell you anything about their activities, okay? And I said that. I said that in my video. I said that in my Obsidian notes. And he keeps on fucking trying to link me in with this claim, which I don't support. I never have. Here's what I said about the report. We're going deep now, okay? I said, despite my issues with it, that propaganda document, quote, actually counted the number of militants far more accurately than the UN report did. Funny how that happened. So I said militants. They accurately counted the number of militants, not affiliates. I separate militants from affiliates. The report that I used separates militants from affiliates. And this guy is still acting like I'm lumping them together to justify their deaths. Why? We can always just look at the count anyway, if you want. So, this organization, this is what they said. They said that in total, the ones that you can verify anyway, they said that 45 Hamas militants died and 6 PIJ. These are the ones that you can actually look at because both of these armed wings Al-Qassam brigades and Al-Quds brigades, they both have websites and they have biographies, and they'll tell you what the guys were doing, like when they joined the armed brigade, what they did in the brigade, and what they were doing when they died. So you can verify these. So I decided to do my own research. Which History Speaks will never acknowledge, by the way, because he's a liar. He's a cunt, all right? So this is their claim, 45 Al-Qassam operatives and 6 PIJ. You can go through their websites. They're publicly available. I found the date range for the Great March of Return. I made sure to look at the biographies to say that they were killed at the marches, not they were killed independent of the marches, because some people did get hit, like airstruck or shot when they weren't taking part in the protests. You can look at the biographies if you don't believe me. 44 deaths from the Al-Qassam brigades and 6 from PIJ. The intel report was one-off. They might have actually only been one-off because their date range was wider. Their date range was wider by like a month. So, and that's all I said. I said that, yeah, this report counted the number of militants better than the UN report did because they were one-off for the ones that you can verify. And you can look at the UN report to make sure. What did the UN report count? 29. They said 29 people killed during demonstrations were members of organized armed groups. Another 18 of undetermined status. So I was right. Yeah. Sorry. The Israeli propaganda document in this case did actually successfully identify militants better than the UN report did. By quite a lot, actually. By a pretty, even if you add in the 18 to the 29, like the intel report is still more accurate for members of armed groups. So this report didn't, I don't think they looked at affiliates. I don't think they numbered affiliates by my memory. So, and just so you know, History Speaks is like this for everything. For every dispute, he is this obtuse. And he'll also do this thing, because I know that he argues with people in my community and on Reddit. He'll say that them being listed on these websites is not proof of them being engaged in, of them being militants, of them being members of armed organizations. Because he cites this stupid claim from the Goldstone report that, oh, everyone just claims martyrs. They all claim martyrs. No, these are official websites, okay? These are official websites. So you can look at some of these people. This is an official Hamas website for their armed wing, okay? This is the guy, combat uniform. They have a biography. When they joined the Al-Qassam brigades in 2014 for this guy. They tell you what they did. They dug tunnels, preparing and equipping, participated in ambushes with special forces on the outskirts of the border, prepared to engage in battle. They tell you how they died, great return marches. And they have this for every single person. And this fucking scum of the earth liar will say that, oh, these are just random people. These are just random people randomly claimed and photoshopped or whatever else. They have videos of them training.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
They have little montages. Oh, this is totally them. This is just them putting a Hamas flag on a random civilian. History Speaks. You fucking moron. Look at this. You're just burying your head in the sand because you can't. He can't cope with the fact that the UN reports are less accurate than Israeli intel reports, both for the Cas Led, for the police deaths, and for this. He can't do it. He's not allowed. It's illegal. So I don't know. Is that sufficient reasoning for why I don't bother engaging with this person? Because he's literally like he argues like a mentally ill person, like a schizophrenic. Like he's not. He doesn't engage with what's the words that are being directed towards him. He doesn't do that. Are we okay there? By the way, just to reiterate for the billionth time, you will never find me saying that someone deserves to be killed, that someone's legally allowed to be killed even, just because they're an affiliate with Hamas or Fatah or PIJ or anything else. Being an affiliate does not make you a military target. What would make you a military target would be your conduct. You'd have to be engaged in hostilities. That's it. But for some reason, he just keeps, and he knows this. He's heard me say this a million times. I've tweeted this as well. He just keeps lying. He just keeps doing it. So I just say this because some people were disappointed that I banned him from the Reddit yesterday and that I wasn't engaging with him because I guess they find some of his research like impressive or whatever. But like, just so you know that this is the kind of person that you're dealing with. Okay, this guy is literal scum of the earth. He's one of the worst people as well, because he does this whole thing where he goes on like these moral grandstands, these crusades against people about how he wants to do reputational damage to them because of the positions that they have. But he doesn't even know what their positions are. He's the kind of guy that will literally try to destroy your life just because he thinks you did something wrong, because he misread a tweet or because he misunderstood a video or because he can't even bother to do his own research. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was right. Yes, that Israeli intel report, whilst I have my issues with it, and I've noted them a million times, fuck you, they were more accurate in counting the number of militants than the UN report. So, you know, sorry. Unrelated question, has your USA visit messed with your sleep schedule? No, not really. The way back messes it up more just because of the way that the direction of the time difference. Like, what the fuck have I ever said here that's dehumanizing? What? I think the only evidence of there being a disproportionate number of party members, of affiliated people, the only evidence that I saw for that was from one day of the Great March of Return, and it was the biggest day. It was the day of was it May 14th? Yeah, that was the biggest, the deadliest day of the march, where 62 people died and Hamas claimed 50. Now again, from my research, 25 of these people were soldiers. They were Al-Qassam brigades, and the other 50, I guess, would have been affiliates or members. That's the only evidence I saw that there was a disproportionate amount of affiliates and members at the marches. But even then, that's not making the claim that they were all targetable. That's not what I'm saying. I don't even think it's what the Israeli intel thing said. Because if you look at what they say, and History Speaks is kind of lying about these guys as well, these guys are saying that the large number of fatalities from the terrorist organizations on the front line demonstrates that the violence against the IDF near the border was not, quote, popular, as the false Palestinian propaganda wishes to convey. It is orchestrated by Hamas and significantly involves operatives of Hamas's military wing or operatives affiliated with Hamas. It shows that the IDF soldiers do not shoot indiscriminately at brackets imminent demonstrators, but instead in most cases target and hit specific terrorist operatives. Now, this part is problematic because I don't know if the shootings at the Great March of Return were based on intel of the people that they could see through the sniper scopes. I think it was because of activity. Maybe in some cases there's like a high profile person they could get intel. But in most cases, I think it was because of what they were doing, because they'd crossed a threshold or whatever. But the main point here is that, and the UN report says this as well, by the way. I don't know why he would skirt over this. The UN report said that the official line of the protests, the civilian protests, was don't cross the road, don't go into the buffer zone. That was on the first day, that was the line. That's what they said. They said, don't do that. Their plan was actually to just move the tents very gradually in between protests, not to charge up to the fence and try to break through it. That was not the intent of the civilian leaders of the protests. So what this report is showing you, at least in this half, which I think I agree with by everything I've seen, is that the political groups, Hamas, Fatah, PIJ, mainly Hamas, utilized that protest to launch their own little project of trying to attack the fence. That's what they did. That's why there's a disproportionate amount of them who are getting killed. Very disproportionate. Even if you only count the militant wings, even if you only count the 28% or whatever of them dying, 28% of Gaza is not Hamas, is not Al-Qassam brigades. That's a disproportionate amount of them. So, yeah. No, I think my claims on this particular issue have been correct. They've been easily verifiable. They're haven't even changed since I did the first video, but this dribbling fucking loser just keeps on insisting on it because I guess he's like just I don't know. You can tell he does a lot of work on his videos and his tweets. He does a lot of work, but he just has no critical thinking abilities. He's just there's something missing in his brain. I don't know. And the fact that he's still not letting it go either. Where's the one? He's still not letting it go. The study he's defending claimed civilian affiliates. Oh, it's a really good thing, bro. It's a really good thing I didn't say that they were accurate about the civilians. I just commented on their numbers. I just commented about their numbers for militants. You see that? I was very clear. Militants. Should I put it in bold? You stupid fuck. Should I have done that? Fuck me. If you look at it side by side, it's just so baffling. It's just so baffling that this guy is not operating from any desire to reach any kind of objective truth of the matter. It's just a smear attempt. They counted the number of militants more accurately. You're defending them claiming civilian affiliate. Shut the fuck up. They delineated. They separated militants from affiliates. What a loser. Anyway, that's why. I really hope that's an okay explanation. I mean, that's one example that I've gone, I guess, fairly in depth of. But if you want more reasons for why I don't bother with this guy, like, I don't know, just, I can maybe bring a couple more in the future if he comes up, because I guess he's not going to leave me alone. He'll find a way to get my attention, as he clearly has, but... Anyway. Sorry, bub. I can tell why. I can tell. It's like, it's the Benny Morris page. I mean, if you can send me the thing, I can do it quickly. The thing is, I can tell, because it must be really disruptive to his entire worldview, that on 2 instances now, the Goldstone report versus Orient on the Cast Lead issue and this one, that's twice now where go-to UN reports did a worse job of counting the number of militants than the Israeli intel guys did, by quite a lot. And I think to History Speaks' entire worldview, that's a really difficult fact to swallow. So, you know. Still doesn't really tell you anything about the morality of what Israel did. That's a different story. But he can't have that discussion. He's not equipped for it. Oh yeah, I'll give you this one more example. Why not? Because it's here. This was him responding to a take about the Kibbutz massacre, which happened, I think, was it 52? Was it in the 50s or something? Pretty bad one, pretty bad massacre. Actually, one of Sharon's first war crimes, maybe his very first. I don't know. Unit 101, when they went into a town, into a village in the West Bank and murdered like 50 or 60 people. This one's saying that Ben-Gurion cleared Kibbutz because they kept murdering Israelis. When asked about this, Ben-Gurion stated that they had ordered and expected the area to be evacuated. Okay, so that's a pretty like right-wing Zionist take on it, because it's not really true. Ben-Gurion actually lied about this incident. So we've got a massacre here that Ben-Gurion lies about later to protect Ariel Sharon and just Israel, I guess. But this is History Speaks' response to it. He says, you're repeating the Hasbro version of history, drawn from public statements Israel made at the time when Western countries criticized the Kibbutz massacre. Pick related is the truth from Benny Morris's Righteous Victims. The massacre was specifically ordered by Ben-Gurion and carried out by Sharon and his Unit 101, going door to door and shooting women and kids. We have the literal order for the massacre, which required destruction and maximum killing. Well, that sounds crazy, bro. And then he posts this. I guess he took a picture of his book, of his copy. And this is what he says. Sharon and the IDF subsequently claimed the villagers had hidden in cellars and attics, and the troops had been unaware of this when they blew up the buildings. But in truth, the troops had moved from house to house, firing through windows and doorways, and Jordanian pathologists reported that most of the dead had been killed by bullets and shrapnel rather than by falling masonry or explosions. In any event, the operational order from the CO General Command to the units involved, dated October 13th, had explicitly ordered destruction and maximum killing. Whoa. Hence, no one criticized Sharon or his troops, though there were questions about how the original General Staff Order, which had called for blowing up a number of houses and hitting the inhabitants, had changed while proceeding down the chain of command into an order for maximum killing. So, you understand the issue here, right? Like, we've gone from Ben-Gurion ordered a massacre, and the literal order is destruction and maximum killing, to his own source, his own paragraph, which says that the order had changed to maximum killing. Like the footnote for this, footnote 60, is two different orders. It's two different documents from the Haganah, like from the IDF or Haganah, the IDF archives. It's two different orders. So even when the truth is on his side, because Kibbutz was an atrocity, it was a horrible thing, and Sharon committed a war crime, and Ben-Gurion lied to cover Sharon's ass. But it is not Ben-Gurion specifically ordered the massacre and told Sharon to do maximum killing. The order changed. The words of the order had changed as they went down from the central command to the units. Also, who the fuck takes notes like this? What the fuck is he doing? He's not even circling this. He's just scribbling through the words. Why? Why is he doing that? Look at it. He's like a serial killer. You just underline it. It's like a schizophrenic. Anyway, there we go. That's why I'm not engaging with this person, okay? He's a cunt, and he's stupid. No. Guys. You just did it. Yeah, I know, because I want to have something in one place to be like, look, in case you want to know, here's why. Blah. Done. Just a little video. Just a little explainer. You say this every time. I don't think there's any segment on my channel about that, is there? By the way, I'm not going to say anything because I'm not going to name any names because behind the scenes, I've told you guys before that bread tubers, left tubers sometimes realize that their audiences are mental. So there are some issues that they just leave alone. I think the left-wing anti-Semitism is starting to... Anyway, that's it. That's all I'll say, okay? There are people who are aware of what's going on, and it's a fucking problem, but I don't blame them for not wanting to get involved because I engage with bad empanada. Kill yourself. No, I draw a pretty fucking firm line. I'll talk to most people, okay? But someone who doxes me and lies about my family, fuck off. I told him I'd talk to him if he admits that he lied. But he'll never do that because he's too proud. So, you know. So it's not much to ask, isn't it? You accused my dad of carrying out one of the worst massacres in Middle Eastern history. Just admit that was a fucking lie. Admit that you made a fake tweet. Admit you're a liar. And then we'll talk about anything you want, bro. But he'll never do that, so it's okay. It's his fault. Do you think he really believes your dad was a phalangist? Nope. He has literally fabricated evidence for it. He's a liar. I think, honestly, he's just an Orientalist. He doesn't think Arabs are real people. That's why he sees Lebanese Christian. He's like, okay, what's the one thing I know about Lebanese Christians? Oh, Sabra Shatila. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Man, hey, how about that US election, guys? How about that? That's wild. The fuck? He didn't know it was after the ceasefire. Yeah. What conservative podcast are you going on to? I don't know if I'm going. Why would I name the podcast if I don't know it's confirmed? What the fuck? I just tell they're just quite conservative, okay? As in we're probably just going to talk about conspiracy theories. Just leaked to me in DMs. Nope. What is our guy saying here? Oh, wait. I don't know if I can hear you, though. You can try talking, but my Discord might be fucked. I might have just killed my entire audio system by doing this. Zane, I'm so sorry. Can you talk?
Okay.
Oh, you can. Okay, thank you.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you have a minute?
Yeah, I pulled you in.
Yeah. So, did you watch the Destiny show on Piers Morgan? You know, the Mehdi Hasan and Dave Smith.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It was very funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to talk to you about the Dave Smith interaction because first off, I found him very.
Is this? Can I predict what you're going to talk about?
Yeah,
it's about him saying that fucking Assad's opponents were all ISIS and Al Qaeda, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
So he basically turned the conversation in order to talk about Syria. Like no one was talking about Syria. I think there was like this talk about Trump being a war, like pro-war or anti-war, I don't know what. But he clearly came prepared. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pull the conversation to Syria, and so like everyone won't know what I'm actually gonna talk about. And I'm gonna appear like the expert on there. And this is something I wanted to discuss with you. It's like so frustrating for me as Syrian to see like the main people who talk about Syria on like in the online political sphere are like the libertarian or right wing anti-system, like anti-war, because Syria is really a great place for conspiracy theories. There's a lot of theory there. They can find a lot of information where they can put it in a narrative of anti-America, all of that. But yeah, it's so frustrating for me because these people don't know anything about what's happening there. Like what Dave Smith said yesterday was completely retarded.
Yeah, it's like it's also about because I can see why people want to talk about Trump and they don't want to divert to talk about Syria and yeah.
Sure, yeah. I don't think it was the right place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like, Dave Smith is like that though. Like he's you can tell for the whole thing that he was just so embarrassed about his support for Trump that and so much of a coward that because he's around two people who would actually fact check him very, very hard on anything. So he just decided to, I've got a niche topic here, Syria. But yeah, that actually kind of surprised me. I knew that part of that libertarian alt media sphere is like, yeah, they do have a kind of strange relation with Assad for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there'll be opportunities to talk more about that, but I feel like that probably just went over everyone's head at the time. I caught it though. I was like right away. I was like, this guy, what the fuck did you just say? Yeah.
Yeah, especially like I think like Destiny played it well that he didn't really engage with the subject because I think Dave Smith didn't want to talk, about Trump and Palestine because clearly he can't explain his support for Trump because he's a big supporter of Palestine as he claims. So yeah, he wanted to divert the subject to Syria, but yeah, it was funny that the only guy who stood up for him for that was Piers Morgan. But yeah, they didn't continue on that. So yeah, do you talk with Destiny about Syria? Because I'm not sure how much he knows about the subject.
I mean, I don't think I know much more than he does about it. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, because I like in the debates I saw with him, like I think he made the progress like since I started watching him till now. I think like now whenever the subject comes up, he's so right about it. But yeah, like I said, like these alt media guys really use it as we're sure the other guys won't know how to talk about it, and yeah, it's frustrating because for me it's so easy to destroy their arguments.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, but also someone in chat said as well, just the fact that he calls himself pro-Palestinian, but he's going to vote for Trump. Like, you fucking kidding me, bro? Like, even after all these revelations, which Dave Smith would believe all of them, by the way, he will believe that Israel tried to do a longer siege at the beginning of the war, but they were stopped by America. He will believe that the general's plan, which was happening in the north for 2 weeks, was immediately reversed as soon as Kamala spoke about the 30-day fucking review period. Yeah, but then Trump who says finish the war, kill them all. Like, yeah, it's fucked up. I mean, what was it you said about Syria that was specifically that you feel like needs to like mostly corrected?
So he begins the whole conversation with saying that it's America's fault what's happening in Syria because they give too much power for the Shias in Iraq, which is I don't completely disagree with. I think it's too simplistic to say it that way. I think like we talked about this last time. I think clearly the American invasion of Iraq was catastrophic. The result was that Iranian gained more influence there, and that's like not very good for the region in general. But yeah, then saying that America, like USA, just decided to topple Assad so they can balance things out because they didn't want for Shias to gain too much power. I mean, first of all, Assad is an Alawite, even though he's close to Iran and close to the Shias. This war actually brought them even closer together than before. And also, like the framing of it, that USA tried to topple Assad. But the Syrian people tried to topple Assad first, and USA tried to intervene during that. Like, he didn't mention that there was actually a revolution and it was part of the whole Arab Spring, that Syria wasn't the only people trying to topple their president. Many countries in the Arab world had the same situation. And then, proceeding to the simplistic thing that everyone against Assad are jihadists and ISIS, even though like Assad never really even fought ISIS. This is too simplistic and even wrong. And also, like USA at the beginning didn't try to fund the more secular part of the opposition. So yeah, I hear this often that USA funded ISIS, and this is just too simplistic and. I feel completely wrong.
So what would you say, like, because the factions I know about are obviously Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Free Syrian Army. What are the other relevant ones that are missing there?
So there's the Front al-Nusra.
Okay. They're linked to Al-Qaeda,
right? Yeah, vaguely. Later on, maybe. At the beginning, they were like the more extremist, like more like with the like they came under an Islamic idea, like of fighting Assad and all, and then developed to a more extremist. And there are too many factions. I think it's complicated to say this right now, but yeah, at the beginning they were mainly FSA, al-Nusra, then the Kurds, of course.
And which were the ones that the Americans supported? Sorry, they supported FSA, right?
At the beginning, like the FSA was predominant. Like there was mainly the FSA, even al-Nusra and all of that. Like other groups that affiliated to Al-Qaeda later was part of USA. But yeah, USA supported them when they were under FSA. I think the main problem became when Kurds start to arise and more extremists start to appear in Syria. So USA only exclusively like funded the Kurds and stopped funding the FSA. So the FSA had to search for funding elsewhere, and that was Turkey. So FSA became mainly just a faction like allied with Turkey, the Kurds with USA, and like mainly each group start having like foreign allegiance. But we have also Qatar and Saudi Arabia. I think one of the main problems, like in my personal opinion, that USA let the Qatar and Saudi Arabia fund whoever they want. And Qatar, like we know that they have a long history in funding extremists. I think there's even evidence like of them funding directly ISIS.
Okay.
And that was also a problem because USA had to keep everyone in line and not let each country, like all the allies of the Syrian revolution.
Buddy, I'm so sorry, but my audio did the thing again, so I can't hear you. Oh no.
Oh shit.
Chat can hear you though.
Okay. Do you want me to hang up and we can talk later? Yeah, I mean, chat, can you type what I'm saying? Wait.
You can just keep talking for a bit, and when you hang up, I'll know.
Okay, so just
you can say your piece
it
to them.
Yeah. So maybe the whole subject needs a longer time for me to explain all the problems with the funding. But yeah, it's just too simplistic to say that all opposition were jihadists. Like actually, many of the opposition members fought jihadists. FSA were the first faction to fight ISIS. The Kurds had very long battles with ISIS and actually helped clearing out ISIS, and the Kurds were part of the opposition. So yeah, Dave Smith was wrong. I'm gonna let Loner come back. But yeah, if you can ask Loner in the chat, I'm gonna type the question also. Would he ever debate Dave Smith? See you guys soon.
Okay, he's gone. Would I ever debate Dave Smith? I did email him a while ago, but he didn't reply. Story of my life, bro. Volume mixer. Okay. There needs to be a way to get rid of this fucking bullshit. I'm guessing, was the region of Lebanon ever Syrian? Not part of the nation, no. I mean, it was part of Greater Syria at one point. Like the fucking province. But even then, like Syria was split up, I think. It was like the Vilayet of Aleppo, the Vilayet of Damascus, and Homs, Hama, I don't know. You have a decent number of anti-Assadist Syrian fans. It's really cool. Yeah, well, I'm guessing it's hard for them to find a voice in the online space. Hezbollah appointed a new guy. It was expected to be this guy, the deputy, because he was the deputy. He's been around for ages, though, Naim Qassem. He's been around for a long, long time. He's just got no riz, though. That's his problem. He's got no riz. So, Israel bans UNRWA. What do you think? They shouldn't have done it. if you want to ban UNRWA, you can't do it unless you've got an alternative ready to go to distribute aid. Because I don't know what's going to happen. Doesn't UNRWA distribute like a lot of, or if not most of the aid in Gaza? Garland said it's a temporary appointment. Ooh, puff in the chest. Let's go. Do they distribute anything? I'm pretty sure they're like the biggest distributors, no? Is that not true? Don't they distribute aid? Fuck. So what the hell's going to happen? What's this guy saying?
He's not. He knows he's smart enough to.
Fuck. This fuck. Okay, wait. Why? I know what's happening. I know that the playback disables devices, but it doesn't disable it in a way that it can go away. I just want it to go away. But maybe I shouldn't have it go away because I need to find out what's happening. Something, it's like it's trying to, fuck me. Please get tech support on it. Bro, what the fuck is my tech support? I just want the device that I'm choosing to be the device that gets used. Is that so much to ask? Bruh. I wonder if it's something to do with the 32-bit thing, but it seems like my Amtrak really wants to go to 32-bit. I don't know why. Whew. Try a different streaming program. I could try OBS. There was a problem with OBS though. There was a lack of chat. Honestly, at this point, it's probably worth it. Fuck me. Eden spam. What the fuck? Your name is literally spam, bro. What? Get out. You can put chat in OBS? Yeah, but you can't get it to look fancy and shit. It's like harder. It's trying to be 32. No, it's not 30. That's bit rate. I'm not talking. The sample rate's the same. It's 48 across all of them. 48 kilohertz. But I can probably just make a custom chat. Yeah. I'll just update OBS and go with that. Fuck, man. We'll try that tomorrow. But I don't know if it's because of... It might not be the streaming software. It might be Windows 11. Because Windows 11 is being a total dick. It's been a total dick about me switching devices. Why? You try turning it off and on again. Shut up! It could be the thing is, it's happening like a switch, right? It's working like a switch. If it's working like a switch, that means that there's competition. It's either a sample rate changing or a bit rate changing or a different device trying to take over. You know what's interesting though is no one's even suggested any fixes for this one. Now it's fucked. Because I opened up the internet browser? Is that why?
When will you
I can't hear this either. It's still going. Disable all audio devices and enable one. I've tried that. Try again. Disable. Enable. No luck, I don't think. Oh! Do I just have to do that every time? What happened now? What's going on? I can hear that. Is my voice better? Still robotic. Ugh. Is it something to do with the browser? Privacy and security. Oh, God. Bro. Back now. But why? We can't keep doing it like this. They need to find out what the problem is. I can't just sit here and soy out every time the audio fucks up. No, the mic is not fucked. Stop saying that. That's not what a fucked mic would do. It wouldn't do that. Chrome. Did you check if your computer is overheating? Don't think it is. It's not even warm. It's a little bit warm. No, it's not overheating. Try lower sample rate. You'll figure it out just in time to go home. I know. Discord takes exclusive control. Yeah, but I'm in Discord. I haven't changed my Discord usage. Writing a Reddit post on the tech support suites. No, I hate doing that. Fuck. Privacy and security. It's the cable, dude. It's not the fucking cable. Shut up. The cable is not getting disturbed. And that also wouldn't explain why the interface is doing it as well, why the playback is doing it too. It's both things are fucking up. Privacy and security. Where the fuck is the more settings option? What the fuck? Settings. Oh. I'll try microphone permissions on Chrome. Site settings? Microphone. Don't allow sites to use your microphone. Okay. Banger. Don't allow sites to use your camera. Banger. Okay, that's one fix. Okay, that's one trial. See if that does anything. Fuck me. Make sure the battery profile is set to performance. Ooh, perhaps. Energy recommendations. What the fuck? How? Power mode, best performance. Let's go. Is there anything else? Okay, we got best performance. Have you gone into the properties of the microphone and made it exclusive? No, I've put it to, I've unchecked allow applications to take exclusive control. Because I think if you check that, doesn't that make applications fight over it? Like Discord and Streamlabs? Don't know what happens? Bugger. I hate my life. I hate this so much. I'm going full nutter, man. Oh well. Did you buy this laptop secondhand? No, it's brand new. And it was fine when I streamed last time, but that's because I was just using the laptop mic. This is the first time I'm using the interface. Like, I know it's because this computer is not responding to the interface in the best way. That's the issue. But it seems like some of these sound devices are just trying to enable themselves. If you tried reinstalling the drivers for what? The interface? Maybe try exclusive temporarily? That is the default setting. Should I really? Oh, what's this? Oh. Wait, someone's saying that the UNRWA ban doesn't affect Gaza. Is that true? Did you try a different mic though? Nope. It's not going to be a problem with the hardware. It's a problem with something to do with the laptop software. That's what's going on. I know, okay? Ooh, the laptop's heating up now. What the fuck? It's getting louder. Why? My mornings without Loner Box are empty and boring. Damn. It's only within Israel's sovereign territory. Yeah, but it's also saying Israel won't cooperate with them. What does that mean? Does that mean they won't cooperate in Gaza? Oh, Kaiser Kenny, thanks for the membership for 11 months. That's really generous of you. In your opinion, what are the best news sources? Loner Box Live. I don't know. I'm just going to be looking through. It's hard to explain the problem as well because it's a streaming problem and not that many people stream. So there's not that easy to find tech support threads because it's not a common issue. It's not a very shared problem. I've been on my laptop for hours listening to stuff and watching stuff, and it never has the issue. So maybe Streamlabs has something to do with it as well. I don't know. I'll try streaming at a lower bit rate tomorrow, though. Let's see what that does. It's working great now. Yeah, it works for most of the stream, and then it goes fucking mental. That's not good enough. That's not professional. It's not professional. And I don't think it's anything unique that I'm doing. Puerto Rico rising. Fuck me. Ooh. Not demure. Fuck it. I'm gonna look at goddamn live chat. Yotam Lebanon, thanks to the 1790 shekels. Who's your favorite current or not Israeli politician? Also, yeah, it is my last name, semi-common in Israel. Okay. I don't know. I think politician in Israel. I like that Yair Golan guy. He seems cool. Shlomo Ben-Ami was technically a politician, wasn't he? Foreign minister. Joe Sco, thanks for the tier 1 sub. How old is Lonerbox? He's 33, bro. Fuck this, man. US polls soon? What do you mean polls? I feel better about my crush now, thanks. Okay. Whoa. Wild. Yeah. Guys, I don't think I have any more memes in me. Think I'm fresh out of memes. I can't even fucking speak to people on Discord because their audio will cut out in 2 seconds. Unless I know I can get it fixed. It lasted a while today, though. It lasted a couple of hours. How do you think the election's going to go? I don't know, man. 50-50. Flip a coin. Puerto Rico will save us. That's my prediction. Because there's a lot of them in Pennsylvania. They're proud nationalists. They'll all flip their votes because someone who isn't even Trump shat on them. Let's go. Puerto Rico rising. That's where all my eggs are in that basket. How far have you gotten with the book? Bob Woodward or the Second Lebanon War? You probably mean the Bob Woodward one. I think I've read like 8 chapters, something like that. They're fairly short chapters, but I'm taking notes as well, so, and organizing them into a little timeline. Did you meet any Cuban Republicans? I mean, I probably met them. I don't really ask people their politics when I see them, though. Is Puerto Rican vegan socialist still a thing? That guy is a Twitch chatter now. He's a chatter for people like Hasan and Denims and shit. He still mentions me every now and then and bullshits. So he's still a cunt. But, you know, I was never going to save him. He's mental. He was a dick. David was soying out about the names for the IP chapters. Nice one. Wasn't Raheem doing the same thing? Yep. Okay, what are we doing here? Are we just waiting for the next audio fuck up to know that my little fix didn't actually work and I need to think of another one? There's not really any good Reddit drama. It's just people posting stupid fucking reports that they don't understand, talking about aid trucks to me. Not dealing with it. Fuck off. When you put loner box in the search bar, half the videos are just bad up and out of calling you a genocide supporter. Oh well. It is what it is. I don't know. When I search myself on YouTube, I get a bunch of my videos. Seems fine. You got to start drama with someone. I can't, though. I wanted to talk to those Vanguard guys, but I don't want to be debating people with a Discord that keeps cutting out. So I just need to wait until it starts working properly. I need to wait until I found a solution. Because right now, I got no solution, man. I can maybe try just a basic Windows 11. The Reverse Canary site has an article about you. What? The fuck is the Reverse Canary? Oh, are these the people who call out Zionists? Oh, I've seen this. These guys cover everyone, don't they? Haha. Fucking banger, man. Look at this. No, yeah, these guys cover literally everyone. Loner box, genocide denier and mocker, propagandist, friends with open Zionist. Real name unknown. Despite making videos on Palestine and claiming to be pro-Palestine, he's denied and mocked the Gaza genocide, as well as defend Israel and attack its critics 24/7. The self-appointed controlled opposition also he also hangs out with deadbeat father, Zionist, racist, and overall terrible person, Stephen Banel Destiny. Oh, and then this is their thing about genocide, okay. And these are the screenshots from Twitter. Genocide. Bro. Got him. Evidence.
So the Gaza genocide is already...
Oh my god, it's him. Crazy. Fucking troglodyte. Okay. Why don't they cite your name if they're using him as a source? Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? That was not particularly interesting. I was thinking of The Canary, which was a far left publication from the UK that actually does do proper articles and not just, oh yeah, and by the way, this guy. Fuck me. Deadbeat father. Woo. Ouch. No, I did not talk about the person who got executed in Iran. Sorry. They even hate Omar. Oh, really? What, the Twitter user? Maybe they don't want to use my name because they'd have to... Look, this website's so funny, man. Billie Eilish, Robert De Niro, Taylor Swift, Kanye, Biden, Ilhan Omar, Yosef Haddad. Damn, Ilhan Omar. Wow. Netanyahu. Oh, it's so funny, man. Hey, Ethan Klein, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jack Black. Get him. God, these guys have a... Tom York, because he's performed in Israel. Bro, these guys are fucking mental. You know what? I wonder. No one is safe. Come on. Hey. Hey. Oh, your fucking retarded website didn't even work. Wow. Mehdi is not there. is by any chance? I don't know. Hey, there he is. Israel has the right to defend itself. Wow. Beautiful. Bruh. Mm. When's the hummus tier list? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to fix my stream. That's all I'm trying to do. Please don't do that. Why? I don't have to do the Jew joke. I don't have to do that. But I do have to blind test them. Because it would be good to know, especially since I haven't tried any of them. Okay. That's a good idea. Maybe you fixed it already? I mean, I might have. I'm just waiting for it to fail again so I can try something else. The only thing I can really do is try and change, which was stop giving permissions on my browser. And if the change doesn't work, then I would just try something else. Anyway, I'm probably just going to go now because I have other things to do this evening. All right. I'm also more American politics, okay? See you guys tomorrow. Fuck you. Okay? Bye.